Growing onions from seeds is something that has evaded me for many years, but I finally cracked the code, I think, a few years ago. And today I'm going to be spilling all the secrets on how to grow beautiful onions from seeds. Hi friends, if we haven't met before, my name is Tara and I garden in the beautiful Bay Area, and the whole purpose of my channel is to inspire you to grow more of your own fruits and vegetables and flowers and have a gorgeous garden. Welcome. Now, there are basically three ways that you can get onions started in your garden. One is obviously through seeds. The other is through sets, which is where they actually dig up the onion just when it's forming a bulb, and then they dry them out and then sell them to you. And those are available in a lot of big box stores. Now, the third way to grow onions is from transplants. Not the transplants that you grow from seeds, but transplants that you can actually purchase from nurseries. One of my favorites is Dixondale Farms. They do not sponsor me, but I absolutely love their transplants and I've been buying from them for many years. But I have always wanted to grow from seeds for a variety of reasons. Number one, the variety. You can get so many different types of onions when you grow from seeds. Very limited selection when you grow from sets or from transplants. Now, another reason why I like growing onions from seeds is because when you grow them from seeds, you will rarely see them bolt. Now, bolt is where they produce a flower stalk and basically complete their life cycle. You do not want that to happen to an onion. The reason is because once it bolts, the onion actually stops growing. You won't get a larger onion. And then even worse, it starts to rot from the inside out. So you have to use up those onions like right away. Do not want them to bolt. And that is an extremely common problem when you grow onions from sets, because they basically yank them up when they're starting to bulb. The poor onion gets confused and it thinks that when you plant it again that it's in its second year, and guess what? It's going to try and bolt. I've often seen transplants also bolt, the ones that you get from places like Dixondale Farms. A lot of them have bolted on me. Not as many as from sets, but they still do have a pretty high percentage of onions that bolt. So I've literally never had onions that I grew from seed bolt on me. And the reason is because I transplant them when they're really teeny tiny. So no reason for them to be confused about their life cycle. And the third reason why you want to grow onions from seed is because it is so cheap to grow from seed. You can get literally a couple of hundred onion seeds in one seed packet, costing you like a couple of bucks. $2, $3, $4 tops, and you can get literally hundreds of onions from one pack of seeds. So can't really argue with the economics of that. So why have I been having trouble germinating onions from seed? Well, for one thing, germination has been pretty spotty and erratic. Sometimes a lot of seeds germinated, sometimes not so many. And then the ones that did germinate look kind of spindly and sickly. Another thing that they kept doing was they would grow and then they would fall over, and very often they'd have fungal disease on the surface of the soil, which would kill them off. And it's called damping off disease. So I made a note of all of these symptoms and tried to understand the causes, and that's how I came up with my 4-step strategy to take care of all these problems that I was seeing with my onion seedlings, and that's what led me to success. So it is 4 steps. You've got to do all of them in order to succeed. So let's get into it. Okay, so step 1 in the 4-step strategy all starts with the seeds. You have to use fresh seeds when it comes to onions. In fact, any member of the allium family, be it chives or leeks, they all need to be seeds that were grown to be sold in the current year. So definitely not last year's seeds. You will see a dramatic decrease in the germination rate of seeds as they age. After about 1 year, you will be really lucky if you get 25% germination. So you may say, well, I'll just sow 4 times the number of seeds and that should serve me well. But there is a problem with that as well. And that has to do with step number 2 in the strategy. So what is step number 2? Step number 2 is overseeding. You want to sow onions really, really thick. The reason is because onion seedlings are social. As they grow, they actually like to hold each other up and make them stand. And this does 2 things. Number 1, it keeps the onion seeds vertical so that they are not lying on the soil and are subject to soil-borne disease. And the other reason is they're thin and flimsy. And so holding each other up by growing them thickly together actually helps them do really well. Yet another reason why you want to sow them thickly is because you want less of the soil surface exposed, if you will, and that means less chance of fungal disease. So now let's get back to the first item where we talked about seed viability and what if you sowed 4 times the number of seeds. Well, if only 1 in 4 seeds germinated, then think about all of that surface on the soil where there are no seeds germinating. In fact, there are dead seeds. And what does nature do when she sees things that are not alive? She tries to decompose them. So guess what happens? Fungal diseases set in and start to break down those seeds. And guess what? They're not going to be very discriminate. They're going to take down your young seedlings as well. So that's why you want to make sure that your seeds have high viability, high germination rate, and that they are sown really close together. All right, now let's move on to steps 3 and 4. But before we do that, I have a request of you. You see, every year at the end of the year, I like to do a little retrospective. What worked well, what didn't work so well. And you, my viewers, are a valuable resource to me to tell me what you liked about my videos and more especially what you think I can do better. One viewer once told me that I speak like I'm talking to a kindergarten class. And when I replayed that video, I realized how slowly I was speaking. And I speeded things up a bit going forward after that. Another viewer said, please, please, please turn off the music in the background. We can't hear what you're saying. So I hardly play music in my videos going forward, but I wouldn't have known these things. I'd have been blind to them unless you guys told me about them. So please feel free to tell me what you think I should be doing to make these videos more useful to you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching my videos, for liking them, for sharing your comments. I so appreciate you. So the third step in my strategy is to trim your onions. Now, onion seedlings actually will grow very well under the right conditions. I've got them growing out here in my greenhouse, but the weather has cooled down substantially and it's the perfect weather for onions to grow and grow quickly. And in no time at all, under those right conditions, they start looking something like this craziness. Now, onions are social. They like to grow close together. When it comes to this state, they're actually pulling their neighbors over and they're all keeling over. So giving them a good trim will help them focus their energy a little bit more on growing strong base roots and less energy trying to keep all of these long leaves alive. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to eat these when you trim them because they are fabulous in omelets, just anywhere that you would use chives. So this is actually the second time that I'm trimming these onion seedlings, and this will also be the last time that I'm trimming them. They will be going into the garden in maybe a couple of weeks. Yep, that's all you need to do is just like you're trimming hair, give them a haircut. Look at that, looking good. And the last thing that you need to do, step 4, is fertilize regularly. In fact, I fertilize every single time I water onions because they're pretty hungry plants and they're growing so closely together that they will compete vigorously if you don't give them sufficient fertility. So I use this. This is Schultz fertilizer. It's a chemical fertilizer, no affiliation by the way, but I like it because it contains the range of micronutrients and so it's really good. If you want to use an organic fertilizer, organic liquid fertilizer, you can definitely feel free to do so, but this tends to be my fertilizer of choice for my indoor plants because I like to keep things as inert as possible, and I do use it for my onions as well, even though they're in my greenhouse. Now, if you want to know about the varieties of onions you should be growing for your gardening zone and also how to plant and take care of your onions during their life cycle, check out this video right here.